dear students, welcome to the 7th session on the chapter valuation of shares. Here in this session, I am going to take up 4 questions on the various methods of valuation of shares. So let us take up the first question now. The following is the balance sheet of X Limited as on 31st/12/2006. On the asset side, we find land and building, plant and machinery, trademark, stock, data, cash at bank and preliminary expenses. On the liability side, under the share capital, we have shares of rupees 10,875,000, general reserve, taxation reserve, workman savings account, profit and loss account and sundry creditors. The plant and machinery is worth rupees 45,000 and land and buildings have been valued at 90,000 by an independent valuer. Rupees 3,000 of data are bad. The profits of the company have been as follows: 2004 30,000, 2005 33,750, 2006 39,750. It is the company's practice to transfer 25% of the profit to the reserve. Ignoring taxation, find out the value of shares on the fair value method. Similar companies yield 10% on the market value of the shares. Okay, so this is the question now. The requirement is to calculate the fair value of the share, the value of shares under fair value method. Nothing but we have to calculate what is the fair value of the shares. As we discussed in the previous sessions, in order to calculate the fair value of the share, we need to know what is the intrinsic value as well as market value, because the fair value, we use the formula fair value is equal to intrinsic value plus market value divided by 2. So here first we need to calculate what is the intrinsic value and then what is the market value and finally fair value. Coming to the first step calculation, that is with regard to intrinsic value, we are going to calculate what is the net asset available for equity shareholders, wherein we consider the present values of various realizable assets. Coming to the first asset given here, land and building, they have given the present value to be 90,000. We have to consider 90,000. Plant and machinery also they have given present value 45,000. Trademarks they have not given anything regarding the present value, so we have to consider the book value itself, that is 7,500. Stock also they have not given present value, take the book value. Datas, the book value is 33,000, but there is a bad debt to the extent of 3,000 which we need to deduct. The remaining balance would be 30,000. Cash at bank we have to consider 19,500. Preliminary expenses, it's not a realizable asset, don't consider. From these total, we are going to deduct the external liabilities. If you check the liability side, share capital is not a liability, general reserve no, taxation reserve no. So here one clarification, if it is a provision for taxation, it is a current liability. But taxation reserve, it's like any other kind of reserve, it is not a liability. Then workman savings account, yes, it is a liability. Profit and loss account, no. Creditors, yes. So these are the two liabilities we find. So let's see how to calculate the net asset available for equity shareholders. As we just now discussed, land and building, plant and machinery, trademark, stock, data less bad debt, cash at bank. We get the gross market value to be 2,10,000 less external liabilities, workman savings account and creditors. So remaining balance you get 1,62,000. Intrinsic value is equal to net asset available for equity shareholders divided by number of equity shares. We get the intrinsic value to be rupees 21.6 per share. Then the second step is to calculate the market value of the share. Again there we have to follow 3 steps. First we are going to calculate what is the surplus available for dividend for equity shareholders. Here they have given the profits for 3 years, 2004, 2005, 2006, and the current year is 2006, 31st/12/2006, and the current year's profit is 39,750. So we cannot directly take these profits to calculate the average profit, because there is one adjustment with regard to the bad debts. While calculating this profit for the year 2006, they have not considered this bad debt. So what is the adjustment required here? We have to debit that to the profit and loss account. Nothing but here we have to deduct it from 39,750 while calculating the average profit. Then from the average profit, here they have given that we have to ignore the taxation. So we have to ignore taxation, and then the next step would be for transferring the certain portion of the profit to the general reserve. Here it is given that 25% has to be transferred to the general reserve. So let's see, and the normal rate of return is given as 10%. The total paid up share capital is 75,000. Paid up capital per share is 10. So let's see how to calculate the market value. In the first step, calculation of Surplus profit available for dividend to equity shareholders, average profit 2004, 2005, 2006. From the gross profit we are going to deduct this, not gross profit, from the profit given in the question we are going to deduct this bad debt. So we are going to divide it by 3 in order to calculate what is the expected average profit. 33,500 less transfer to general reserve at 25%. So remaining balance would be 25,125. Expected rate of dividend is equal to 25,125 divided by 75,000 into 100. We get the expected rate of dividend at 33.5%. Market value of the share is equal to 33.5 divided by normal rate of return is 10 into paid up value of each equity share is also 10. So we get the answer 33.5 per share. So this is the market value. And then if you want to calculate what is the fair value, what you should do, fair value is equal to intrinsic value. Intrinsic value here in this case is 21.6 plus market value is 33.5 divided by 2. Just check what is the answer you get for fair value. Okay. Then now let us take up the second question. Following is the summarized balance sheet of Reliance Corporation Limited as on 31st 12/2003. On the asset side we have fixed assets, stock, datas and bank balance. On the liability side, share capital 3000 shares of rupees 100 each, 3 lakh. General reserve 1,60,000. Profit and loss account 1,20,000. Creditors 1 lakh. Income tax liabilities 1,20,000. Net profit after taxation for the last 3 years were 69,000, 91,500 and 98,500 respectively. It is the practice of the company to keep 20% of the after tax profit to the reserve. The average yield in this type of business is 15% on the capital employed. On this date, the fixed assets were valued at 3 lakh and there is necessity to provide for RBD at 10%. You are required to calculate the fair value of each equity share under net asset method and yield method. So we have to calculate the value of share under net asset method and yield method. As usual, first let's calculate the value under net asset method, which is called intrinsic value. There in the first step we are going to calculate what is the net asset available for equity shareholders. So here we have to consider the present values of various realizable assets. Coming to the first asset, fixed asset, they have given the present value to be 3 lakh. Stock, they have not given present value, so we have to consider the book value. Coming to datas, the book value is 2,03,000, but we have to deduct this RBD at 10% on 2,03,000, which comes to 20,300. Remaining balance have to be taken to the outer column, and then bank balance. From this total we are going to deduct the liabilities to outsiders. So share capital is not a liability, general reserve no, profit and loss account no, creditors is a liability, income tax liability. So these are the two liabilities we have to deduct from the gross market value of all assets. So here fixed asset, stock, datas less RBD at 10%, bank balance, gross market value of all assets we get 9,09,700, less external liabilities, creditors and income tax liabilities, we get the net asset available for equity shareholders to be 6,89,700. Intrinsic value of a share is equal to 6,89,700 divided by number of equity shares. Here 3,000 is given, so we have to divide it by that. So we get rupees 230 per share. Then coming to the market value of the share, here they have given the profit after tax profit for 3 years. So we have to deduct this RBD from the current year's profit. Current year is 2003. They have given for the last 3 years and the respectively they have given. So it is given in ascending order. So the last profit 98,500 is the current year's profit. From this we have to deduct that RBD of 20,300 in order to calculate the average profit. So let's see how to calculate. So adjusted average annual profit after tax 69,000, 91,500, and from 98,500 we are deducting RBD. So we have balance of 78,200 as the current year's profit. So all these profits divided by 3, you get 79,567 as the average annual profit after tax. Less transfer to general reserve, the percentage is given in the question 20%. So we get the surplus profit after tax for the dividend to equity shareholders as 63,654. Then calculation of expected rate of dividend, the surplus profit divided by total paid up capital, 3,000 shares of rupees 100 each, 3 lakh into 100 we get the rate of dividend to be 21.22%, calculation of market value, expected rate divided by normal rate of return. In this question they have given that the normal rate of dividend in that line of business is 15% on the capital employed. So we have to consider that 15% here into paid up value of each equity share is 100. Okay, so now when you multiply you get rupees 141 as the market value. So then coming to the third question, following is the balance sheet of Godavari Limited as on 31st December 2015. The assets, on the asset side we find buildings, plant, data, stock, cash and preliminary expenses. On the liability side, share capital 10,000 shares of rupees 10 each, 1 lakh. Then reserve, then workman savings account, profit and loss account and creditors. Plant and buildings valued at 60,000 and 1,70,000 respectively. Out of data, 2,500 are taken as bad. Profits for the company for 3 years are 2013 35,000, 14 40,000, 15 47,500. Company transferred 20% of the profit to reserve every year. Normal rate of return in similar company is 12%. Sales tax liability of rupees 1,000 is likely to arise. Find the value of equity share under net asset method and yield method. So this kind of question usually appears in the exam for 12 marks. Here also requirement is to calculate the value of shares under net asset method and yield method. So let's take up the first step. So here in order to calculate the intrinsic value we need to know what is the net asset available for equity shareholders. So here the building they have given building at 1,70,000 present value, plant at 60,000, data's out of book value 47,500 we have to deduct this bad debt of 2,500. Then stock we have to consider the book value, cash as it is, preliminary expenses it's not a realizable asset. From this gross market value of various assets we are going to deduct the liabilities to outsiders. Share capital is not a liability, reserves no, workman savings account yes, profit and loss account no, creditors yes. So these are the liabilities to be deducted. Let's see how to calculate. Buildings present value, plant present value, data less bad debt, stock you are considering book value itself as the present value, cash as it is. We get the gross market value of various assets to be 3,36,000 less external liabilities, workman savings account and creditors. And also here in the paragraph they have given one more liability which is not shown in the books of account. The sales tax liability of rupees 1,000 is likely to arise. So it is like a contingent liability. In the future that liability might arise, so we have to take into consideration that also, sales tax liability. So here when you deduct these liabilities you get the balance of 2,50,000 which is called net asset available for equity shareholders. Intrinsic value is equal to net asset available for equity shareholders divided by number of equity shares. So how many shares are here? 10,000. In when you divide it you get rupees 25 per share as the intrinsic value. And then coming to the second step, while calculating the value of share under yield method, so we need to know what is the surplus profit available for equity shareholders. So here they have given the profits for 2013, 14 and 15. If you check the balance sheet date, they have given 2015. So current year's profit is 47,500. From this we need to deduct the bad debt while calculating the adjusted average annual profit. Then here the normal rate of return is given as 12%. Then transfer to the general reserve is 20%. The paid up value per share is 10. So let's calculate now what is the market value. Surplus profit available 2013, 14. From 15 we are deducting bad debt, divided by 3 you get 40,000. Transfer to general reserve 20% of after tax profit. Then surplus profit available for dividend to equity shareholders 32,000, divided by total paid up capital into 100 we get expected rate of dividend to be 32%. Market value is equal to expected rate 32% divided by normal yield is 12% into market value of the paid up value per share is 10. So you get the answer 26.67 per share. Here one clarification, in this question they have not given anything regarding taxation. You cannot assume any percentage. So you can assume that these profits which are given are after tax profits. or you can assume that they have asked us to ignore the taxation anyway, but don't assume any percentage. Directly you have to calculate the adjusted average annual profit. From that you are going to deduct the reserve. Don't consider taxation. Okay, so this is the solution for the third question. Now let's take up the next question, but in this question I'm just going to explain, but you have to solve it by yourself. So on 31st 12 2006, the balance sheet of A Limited Company disclosed the following positions. On the asset side we find fixed assets, current assets and goodwill. On the liability side, issued capital in rupees 10 share, nothing but it is the equity share capital. We have capital of 4 lakh, face value of 1 share is 10, so what is the number of shares you have? 40,000. Reserves 90,000, profit and loss account 5% debentures and current liabilities. On this date, fixed assets were independently valued at 3,50,000 and the goodwill at 50,000. The net profit for the years were 3 years were 2004 51,600, 2005 52,000, 2006 51,650, of which 20% was placed to reserve. This portion is considered reasonable in the industry in which the company is engaged, and where a fair value of the investment or the return may be taken at 10%. Compute the value of company share by net asset method and yield method. Again, very similar question which was asked in the exam for 12 marks. So here also in the first step we are going to calculate what is the intrinsic value, that is the value under net asset method. So coming to the first asset, fixed asset, they have given the present value to be 3,50,000. Current asset, they have not given present value. You have to consider book value itself as the present value, that is 2 lakh rupees. Then coming to goodwill, they have given present value at 50,000. So while calculating the net asset available for equity shareholders, you will write fixed assets 3,50,000, then current assets 2 lakh, and then goodwill 50,000. From this gross market value of various assets, you are going to deduct the external liabilities. Let's see what are the liabilities you have to consider. First, they have given share capital, it's not a liability. Reserves, no. Profit and loss account, no. Debenture is a liability. Current liabilities you have. These are the two liabilities you have to deduct. See what is the balance you get, that is called net asset available for equity shareholders. Then in the second step we are going to calculate what is the intrinsic value. Intrinsic value is equal to net asset available for equity shareholders divided by number of equity shares. So here see what is the balance you get as net asset available for equity shareholders divided by number of equity share. Here is how many? 40,000. Okay, that is 4 lakh divided by 10. So you get some value as intrinsic value. Coming to the second method, yield method, here also we have to calculate in 3 steps. The first we are going to calculate what is the surplus profit available for dividend to equity shareholders. In this question also they have not given anything regarding the taxation, so you can ignore the taxation. And then there is no adjustment like bad debt or nothing like that. So whatever the profit for 3 years they have given, directly you are going to take the average of that, so which is called adjusted average annual profit. From that directly you deduct the transfer to general reserve. What is the percentage? 20% of that average profit you take. The remaining balance is the surplus profit available for dividend to equity shareholders. So first step is over. In the second step you are going to calculate expected rate of dividend. So expected rate of dividend is equal to surplus profit available for dividend to equity shareholders divided by total paid up equity share capital. In this case it is 4 lakh into 100. See what is the percentage of expected rate of dividend you get. And the third step is to calculate the market value. Market value is equal to expected rate divided by normal rate into 100. See what is the expected rate answer you get in the second step. Divided by normal rate of return is 10%, and the paid up value per share is also 10. Okay, just solve this question by yourself and see what is the answer you get for intrinsic value and market value. Okay, that's it for this session. Let's take a few more questions in the upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.